we're about to kickstart this conversation. KK, let's get right into it. Now, we're seeing the harsh economic realities on ground. I mean, if you're in Nigeria now, you know what the time is saying, all right? And as young people, everybody is just basically looking for rather how to make ends meet, how to cash out sharp. And people are just journeying towards the negative path, you know. But there are several others who want to still make money legit, do you understand? And that's why this conversation is very, very important, because, I mean, I host the political program on the Morning Belt, and sometimes when, you know, my callers calling, they would say something like, there's no middle class in Nigeria again.
No,
I mean, you're either a rich person or you're a poor person. And, I mean, this is the kind of conversation that is just really going to help a lot of young people begin their financial journey. So, straight up question. How do we begin? I think that's where we should start.
All right.
Yes.
Amazing question. That's always the brain box of all of this. Now, the idea that the beginning or the genesis of, you know, getting ready or getting your financial life up starts with one thing: your ability to earn. You must first be able to earn money. You must be able to give out something to society so that they can pay you for it. And this is one thing I usually tell people a lot when it comes to levels of finance. We have poverty, we have lack, we have rich, we have wealth, right? You know, we have the poor people, we have those, like you said, the middle class. The middle class is not as if they don't have the money. The middle class, they have the money, but they don't have enough to be seen as rich or wealthy. They can take care of everything. So that's the area that requires them in lack. Now, poverty is the absence of financial resources. That's the one everybody knows. But going forward, it is also the absence of knowledge and intelligence that guarantees productivity. So the idea is being productive. Now, what do you need to do to become productive? You need to be able to learn things that the society needs and be able to give it back to them. You must be able to have
like the first
skills.
step.
That's like the first step. Because even if I want to give you money, what are you giving me in return? That's the question.
Nobody
what can
wants
you
to
do
dash
for
you
me?
money.
Nobody wants to dash
Yes.
you money. Funny enough, I was in church today and one young man walked up to me and he was like, sir, please, can I get 1,000 naira?
Just like that.
Just like that. I was like, is this your scope? Do you, a part of me was like, okay, we're in church. The other part of me was like, you're enabling him because he keeps doing this every now and then. He becomes entitled to people's money. I had to ask him a question: is this a scope you've now formulated, that you come to church every Sunday and your idea is to look for someone to beg? He said, oh no, sir, but the thing is that the guy he comes with comes from
just excuses here and there.
Lekuguma, so he joins him. And I said, okay, now that's a funny joke. So why can't you call the person? He said, oh, my phone, I lost my phone, this one, that one. I said, now here's the funny thing: the reason why that person is not looking for you is because he has not gotten anything from you, because you're not productive to him. Have you asked him, oh sir, you always drop me every time, what can I do for you? Can I come and wash your car? Can I come and do your laundry? Can I come and just do something in exchange to say thank you for always dropping me off in church? I take this to the bank anyway. Whenever that guy is going home, he will look for you first.
Yes.
Even if your phone is bad, he would want to know where you are staying in church. He would scout for you. So people should be able to develop this mindset that what can I give to society? What problem can I solve for the society? Sometimes I tell people, if you are looking for a problem, there's no problem. Create one.
Please don't create problem.
Create one.
Negative
Let them call you to come and fix it. Right? There was a day in the office, we're all sitting down, we were less busy. I was like, what's the best way to get people productive again this morning? I was like, ask a question. I just stood up. Guys, I have a question. Everyone looked at me and said, zero is not a number. Everybody. I'm like, we're in a bank. What do you mean zero is not a number? That's what I said, was prove it. And that was the
just
whole
kick-started
office.
the conversation.
Everybody went brain racking. This one started researching. I was like, the idea was to get you all productive. Yeah. So most times, when you see that there is no problem around you, look for one. Create one. Oh, sir, I noticed that the bushes are overgrown. I don't know. Do you have a machete? If you don't have a machete, I can go and borrow one and sharpen it for you. It will cost you this X amount to sharpen it. Can I also get transport? Now, one or two small change will come out. He's like, this guy. You know, it wasn't his business, right? He just saw something that needed to be done. And even though that it was not his fault or it was not his own to carry, he took my machete, he went to sharpen it, he came back, he cleared the glass and everything. So why would I give you money? Why would I do something to say thank you?
Yes.
So the first thing is to earn, is to be productive, yes.
And for you to even be productive, you have to even learn something. I mean, you don't just become productive. There's something that
There
you
is
should
a
be productive
skill.
in.
There is
Yeah.
a knowledge you must have
Yeah.
that others don't have. There is something you can do that not everybody can do. There must be an idea you can generate
Yes.
that not everyone
Yes.
has the ability to generate the same
Yes.
thing. Wealth comes in different form. The last stage of wealth, wealth is actually finance.
Let me also add that, by learning a skill, because, most times when we say, oh, go and learn a skill, we don't also point out that the world is moving. You have to move with the world, So it makes that if you go and learn a skill that is no longer relevant today, I mean, you might not earn from it. I don't know if you get.
You will earn, but not as much as you want to. For example, Peugeot is not the reigning thing in the market,
Yes.
right? It's Toyota when it comes to automobiles in Nigeria presently. If you sell Peugeot parts, you will still sell, but not at the same rate as the person selling Toyota is selling. That's the thing. Some skills are obsolete. Some skills are in high demand. You must be able to learn skills that are in high demand. Now, when we talk about skills, there are different kinds of skills. We have soft skills and hard skills.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
one of the major soft skills that every young person should have is the ability to solve problems.
Problem-solving skills.
You must be able to. You may not have all the ideas, but you know how to get 1, 2, 3 people together to get on top of a project, execute and deliver.
Yes.
You may not have all the knowledge. That's why Google is a friend. That's why you have ChatGPT.
And YouTube.
You
Yes.
must be able to solve problems around you. So the number one skill is, the number one soft skill everybody should have is problem solving skill. The second one is networking.
How to meet people.
How to meet people, how to
Yes.
talk to people, how to be friends with people,
Yeah.
how to make people see you as important, and then
How
you
to bring value to the table.
to the table.
Yes.
So these are the things that we are lacking. These are the things that our young people are lacking. It's
Yes.
not as if that there are no jobs. There are jobs, but how many people are employable? That's the question.
I agree with you. Now, we've moved from, let's move to the next step now, right? So Kay has talked about you being productive, and he has talked about how that it's important for you to learn a relevant skill and then get productive in it. He has talked about problem-solving skills, and he also pointed out the importance of networking. Now, from that point, what's the next point we move to?
All right. So once you're able to build skill,
Yes.
number one, you must be able to announce to the world that you can solve this skill. You can't have knowledge and sit in your house. You have knowledge, you go out into the world. Now, majority of the times you might give it out for free. That's one thing. You must be able to give it out for free. You're not giving.
Maybe that will be part of the starter pack.
It's the starter
how
pack.
to start.
How to start. Give it out for free. Give it to your church. Give it to your community. Solve problems. You doing that is you announcing yourself. So in a bid to announce yourself, you have to do a lot of pro bono, a lot of free jobs. You have to do a lot of free things. By the time you're doing that, you're not just doing free. You're not just advertising, you're also building your CV. You're also building experience. That's why internships are very important. You want to break forth into an industry. You have not learned under anyone. You have not done anything.
I mean, before you walked in, I just pointed that out. The guest that we brought on board last week pointed out how that is important, that wherever you find yourself working, make sure that you have ownership mentality. So it gives you an avenue to get every knowledge that you need to thrive in that skill.
Exactly.
Because if you're doing it from the sides and you're just collecting your monthly salary, you're going to learn little or nothing. Do you understand the points I'm trying to make? So it makes that, that internship, that volunteering, that putting your eyes in what is happening. Do you understand? Hands-on, whatever it is that they are doing. Let them use you. I don't want to be used.
See, everybody will use somebody. You too, you will use somebody.
And that's how you learn.
You will use somebody.
That's how you learn. If nobody is stretching you, I mean, there's not going to be any opportunity for growth. That's just the truth.
This generation will say they are using me. I say you are getting experience.
Yes, you are. Yes,
You're breaking boundaries. You're breaking barriers. You're growing more. You're building acumen.
Yes.
You're building your brain box to actually do more. You're building capacity.
I agree with you.
So if no one pushes you to work, if no one gives you task, how do you now become better? A calm sea never makes a great sailor. It's the stormy one.
Yes. It's when the sea is stormy, that's when you
We
put
know-
your
we know
skills
who
to
can-
work. Yes. Yes, nobody celebrates. It was a story I heard of, a pilot that was able to navigate all of the back and forth on air. And the moment he landed, everybody on board had to stand still and clap for him. That doesn't happen every day.
It doesn't happen every day.
It happened because, an opportunity to prove
Your worth came up.
that you had value to bring to the table. Do you understand the point I'm trying to make?
Opportunity is when luck meets preparedness. So how prepared are you?
Yes. Because most times opportunity presents itself.
And you're not prepared.
It's just that some people are not prepared,
Exactly.
to do what they need to do. Now, we've talked about the second step, which is making sure that people now know
No.
that I have value to bring to the table. This is the skill that I have been learning, This is what I have to offer. This is who I am. Everybody hear me. This is the market that I now know. Oh, I learned how to cut hair. Oh, I learned how to make hair. Can I come and make your hair? This is what I'm doing now, being able to announce to people that this is the value that you have to offer in exchange for their money. How do we move from there?
Now, when you've done that part, along the line, you see that your name has become a brand. You're now everyone's go-to person. Without you, it cannot be done. Mind you, you're still doing it for free. At that period, you now monetize. Oh, sir, we know we used to do it for free before, but now our time is, we don't have much time to do for free. Would you like to pay X amount for these services? And they'll be like, okay, okay, I can pay you this. No problem, just pay. Money's coming in. And then they start paying you. The more they pay you, the more you upgrade the fee. Today, I have a guy who started doing graphics design for me. It was for free.
Yeah.
He was doing graphics design. He was using my platform to get more customers. He was doing it for free.
Yeah.
He started charging 5,000, from 5,000 to 10,000, from 10,000 to 20. He now moved from graphics design to product design. Now he charges in dollars.
That's
So you
also that thing about learning a skill and improving on it.
improve and upgrade. You don't just sit on one place and let it become up. You don't be like BlackBerry.
Talk to us about building a skill set for a bit. What it means to have a skill set in it. Because you just talked about somebody who moved from just being a graphic designer in quote, moving up, upscaling or upskilling
into a product designer.
Exactly. So talk to us about the importance of having a skill set that matters in this age and
Okay,
time.
so there are so many. When you Google top paying skills in the world,
Yes.
you would see data analysis, you would see AI, you would see cloud computing. Now the funny part is each and every one of these things has a free course where you can actually read and get knowledge. You can actually practice and get knowledge. Now here's the funny thing. This is where people make the mistake. They don't get innovative. Now the world is a global village.
Yes.
It is continually changing, evolving. It is continually evolving. What was thriving yesterday would become obsolete today.
Before you know what is
Before you
going
know,
on,
gentle
to take
Jack,
you by surprise.
To take you by
Yes.
surprise. It took so many manufacturers in industries, in the tech industry, by surprise. And like I said, as it's evolving, evolve with it. Back then it was Adobe Photoshop that was reigning. Now anybody can do graphics on Canva with your phone. You don't need a laptop anymore.
I'm telling you.
You can sit in a bus and design a flyer and you send out. That's innovation.
Do you know that even as we're talking, there are persons who are listening to you now that don't even know what Canva is.
Hey.
They don't even know what Adobe is. How do you want to make progress? And this brings me back to the importance of research.
Let me cut something in.
Please.
I believe every household has a smartphone. The question is, what do you do with that smartphone? You buy data, you sit on your phone for minutes,
Data is cost, but
for
you're scrolling on
hours,
Facebook,
and the only thing people do is scroll on Facebook.
consuming other people's content and making money for
other
them.
people's content. Now, can't you just ask, how can I start? Google is a friend. I said it before. How can I learn graphics design? How can I learn product design? What are the in-demand skills in the world? Which skills pay better? How can I learn these skills? This is where you start from. In that process, you will be. Now, here's the funny thing. As you're doing that as someone that doesn't know anything. That alone has exposed you to knowledge.
It moves you from where you were before
to a new stage.
Yes.
Now the question now is, what are you going to do with the knowledge that you just gathered? See, there is like there are levels to these things. There is knowledge, there is understanding, and there is wisdom. You know, you've been given this information, you've absorbed this information, you've now started using this information. After that, you have what you call post wisdom, which I call foolishness. Now you have seen all these things, but you don't want to use them. That is the problem we are having. It's not as if people don't know; they know, but they don't want to do it. When David met Goliath, David did not pray. David killed Goliath. So he had to act up.
Do something.
So many of us get this information and sit down and say, God, please help me.
That's why I keep saying that. It's not even information that is power. It's applied
information.
Yes.
Applied information.
I agree.
So what are you doing with the quantum amount of knowledge you've gathered? The quantum amount of information at your disposal. What are you doing with them? That is the main question. Nigeria does not have a money-making problem. We don't have a money-making problem in this country. Left and right, people are queuing at the ATM POS to withdraw money.
It was during the Christmas season, when everybody was complaining, oh, economy this, economy that, how are we going to survive?
Everybody bawled.
People were in the market. So I remember one day when I got to the market and one woman was saying, I thought you people say you don't have money. What are you people doing here in the market? Do you understand? So it makes that is people that know how to take this money.
You must be able to know how to take this money legally. Okay, what can I do? Sunshine, what can I do for you legally that can make you move your money from your pocket into my pocket? That is the question.
Yes.
How do I position myself in a particular industry?
Yeah. It was somebody who was saying that the money doesn't disappear and appear. That the amount of money that has been existent since time immemorial is still here.
It's still here.
It's not.
It's just transferred.
Yes, it's just moving from one person to the problem is that it's not moving to your pocket. It's not moving to your bank account.
There is someone it is moving to, but it is not you. What can I do to make it move to me, even if it's just 1%?
Now, we've moved from learning a skill to, being very productive, learning an in-demand skill, because we talked about how important that is. And then we moved to announcing yourself, in the little ways that you can. We talked about volunteering your skills. We talked about giving pro bonos, doing those things for free, actually, because, that's also a problem. You just jump out of learning and you want to start charging people. You don't even know, sometimes even with the pricing, you don't even know anything about that. You just finished learning. Do you understand? And you start charging people
no
like
experience,
that. No
nothing.
experience whatsoever. No, you have to use the process of giving out those skills for free to at least build capacity for a bit, and then we'll move from that point and we move to the point where we get to monetize. Now from that point, where do we go to?
Now, when you've now started monetizing, the next thing you have to do is start networking, because there are other big fishes in that industry, same as you. There are people who have gone ahead. There are people who have who have the network you're looking for. What do? You network with them. Oh, I'm also this. For example, we're all programmers, but I am a junior programmer. You're a senior programmer. Sir, what can you teach me? What can I learn from you? Now, in that period of networking, I can do this, I know this language, I know that one, so how can I help you? You're still giving out free again, but now you're giving it to a close circuit of people in your community that have the market you're looking for, that have the recommendation you're looking for, that have the ability to speak on behalf of your name and put your name in the rooms where you cannot enter. This is where the idea of a mentor comes in. So you must be able to have someone that would hold you by the hand and be able to open doors for you. You're making your own money, yes, but you need to get into the rooms where the decisions are made. So you need someone to mentor you into those places, someone to mention your name into those places, because there's a whole lot you can do on your own.
Yes.
But there's someone you need who is higher than you that can take you to places where you can't be to.
If you're listening at the time and you didn't even know how to begin your financial journey, you were a bit confused, I think that our guest has been able to take you on a journey, because the next phase we're about to move into is going to benefit everybody, both a person who has who is just a startup who has started making little money, and a person who is established who is just finding it difficult to know how to handle their finances. Do you understand? You know how it is that there are some persons who make a lot of money, KK, and I'm saying this because I remember there was a course that I took, and the trainer, he was talking about how that he made very foolish decisions with money. It was not that he didn't have money, he had so much money, but before you know what is happening, it would be as if everything sinks and he starts all over again, because he did not have the kind of knowledge that he needed to keep that money and also build, from there. So now we're going to move from when you started making little money. Okay. For yourself. Do you understand how to move from there, how to scale up from there, how to invest, just about everything that is going to help you?
We're now looking at levels of finance. Yeah, like I said earlier, we have poverty, we have lack, we have rich and wealth. Now, poverty, we've already defined it. It's lack of productivity. Now, when you now start earning, you've started making money, you've started getting an inflow. So you're no longer poor, but you don't have enough money to meet up with every financial burden or obligation that is on your table.
Yes.
So in this area, you now get financial skills that can help you. Skills like budgeting, skills like saving. I won't say investing at this point, because you need to have enough to take care of yourself before you start investing. Now, the idea of budgeting is to is the ability to plan your money, send your money on errands, put them in places where you can actually track them. For example, now you started working, you still stay with your parents, but you earn 50K every month. Now, you don't just say, 50K, I'll buy ice cream with this one, I'll do this one. No. The thing about planning is having an effective plan to show how your money was fully utilized in the best way that benefited you. Now, many financial educators will tell you the 50-30-20 principle is the best, this principle, that principle. The honest truth is every principle works, but the gospel truth is everyone has different financial obligation. For example, if I earn 1 million right now as a single man without much financial obligations, I will not have the same responsibility as someone who is married with kids in school, earning 1 million.
Yes.
I could say, okay, let me use 100K to fuel my car, let me use 100K to jaye. What happens to 800,000? But a man who has a family will stock up the house with like 200K, will take care of this, pay school fees, fuel the house, fuel generator. Before you know, it might just mean 200K for him. So you can't say that you don't have responsibility, you're doing 50-30-20. Why the man has is doing 50-30-20? It doesn't make sense. So this is what I tell people. The first step you need to do is have an entire list of what your expenses look like. So I call it the 30-day principle. In the 30-day principle, you break it into a trimester period of 10 days each. For the first 10 days, everything you're spending, write it down. You're going to Maraba, you write it down. You're buying a bottle of water, you write it down. You're buying food, you write it down. You're buying sweets, you're buying a hanky because Abuja is hot, you're writing it down. You're writing down you enter Korope, you're writing it down. To the most minute things. You dash that guy 500 naira, you're writing it down. Now, the idea is at the penultimate or at the eve of that 10 days, do an audit. Look at the entire list. You will see that there are loopholes where your money leaks from. Researchers have found out that over 40% of our finance are seen in the loophole as we don't these things we spend money on were never important. They would have used them in doing something better. So you're now seeing loopholes, things that you spend on but they not make sense, things that you spend on but were not useful to you, things that you spent on that could not even add value to your life. So what do you start doing? You start cancelling these things out. By the time you do that, you now appropriate. You'll see that so I spent 100K this in the last 10 days, and about 40 or 50K of that money went to things that could not help me. Assuming I kept this money here, I would have gotten, more something from it. That's the idea. Now you do the same thing for the second part of the trimester. You write again, you edit. You write it again at the end, you audit. Now you bring the first part you bring the second part, you see that there has been improvement. There's now a consciousness of spending. Like I said earlier, Nigerians don't have a money-making problem. We have a spending problem. And it is in that spending now that we're not trying to build our finance for better. So by the time you're auditing the second, you'll see some loopholes, but it won't be as much as the first trimester. By the time you're entering the third part of the trimester, you are now more conscious of your spending. Now, mind you, the third part is the last 10 days. You're now more conscious of how money goes out. You're now more conscious of what you pay for. Yeah. And you see that you now have more control of the money. At this point, it's not the money telling you what to do. It's now you telling the money what to do. Now, by the third part, the mistake the loopholes might use to maybe a bare minimum of 2-3%, but you're now better with your money. When your next paycheck comes in. Now, the idea about all of this is you have an exact amount of how much you spend on food in a month, you spend on water in a month, transport in a month, how much you give out. You have a complete idea of everything because it's all written down. You've seen it, the figures, everything. By the time your next salary comes in, you already know where every single thing is going to and how much is coming out for you to save.
Somebody say light has come, because a lot of persons find it very difficult to save.
It's discipline.
Yes, and and it's because of this thing that you explained now and how you explained it, because for a person, let's say an average Nigerian now, minimum wage is 70K, yeah, so let's just say 70K. An average Nigerian worker just earns 70,000 naira, and by the time you finish taking out money that you use and do everything, you just tell yourself, so how am I going to I'm not even eating and I want to save, but if you use the templates that KK just gave us now, because make I talk about PG, get a CB, right? Where be say they spend on things no matter. It's just that because you're not budgeting, because you're not taking notes of them, you don't know that there are those leakages there. So it makes that if you pay attention and you see, it's that thing about also being intentional. Being intentional, about your spending and hard work. Because sometimes when people come out and just dish out some of these templates for us and just give us some of these principles that will guide us, some persons will say, I beg, it's too much. And it's because of that it's too much. I can't do it. It's a lot of hard work. That's why you're where you are.
That's why you're where.
People who are making progress with their finances do a lot of tracking, do a lot of budgeting. And with this now, it's going to help, even if it's 10,000 naira that is coming out of that 70K.
You have something
is going to come out.
So now that's the idea. So when you're done with that, you now start, so actually the excess, that's the loopholes, is this amount. When the next salary comes in, you see that amount, bring it out, put somewhere and leave it. Work with what is remaining with that tracking you did earlier.
Yes.
That's why they say if the first thing you do when you get a salary is to save first. This is where the idea comes from, because you already know what you need to spend on. You already know how much you need to save. You just wake up and say, I want to be saving 20. It works sometimes.
Because a lot of persons know how much they would use to buy food. A lot of persons know how much they will remove for their house rent. They already have, an idea of all of those expenses. The only thing that they don't have an idea about is some of those extras that they've been spending. So that's where this tracking thing comes in. For me, if you ask me, I think that this is the one that is really useful, for me. And you should take that out, because this is what is going to help you begin your saving journey.
When you buy things and you're like, why I even buy this thing? And anyway, no matter, make a dash amount. Here's what you don't understand. Money has left you, enter the hand of someone else. It's not coming back.
It's not coming
so
back.
In your head you might be like, now just 5K, bruh. If you do that 5K 4 times in a month, it's 20K. This is what you don't realize yet. It's the small things.
And that 20K would have just gone to some saving account somewhere.
You can buy stocks with 20K. You can do a whole lot in the finance world with 20K. It's just that now you know what reason now. Now, moving forward, when you now start saving, I tell people you don't save to save. There are 3 reasons why you save, right? The saving is a portion kept out for future spending. You're not saving because you don't want to. You are saving because you want to spend. You go still spend the money in the future. So it's for future spending. Now, saving is divided into 3 categories. You save for emergencies, you save for transactions, and you save for speculations. Now, let me make it more broader. Emergencies are unforeseen circumstances that may come up. Imagine say something just happen, any plan it just happen. We dey find money.
Rainy days.
No day. Rainy days. Umbrella no day. No raincoat, but rain dey fall.
Yeah.
Something just happens, funds are needed. No one has anything, even if it's one couple. Or let's say, for example, now, as Jabba syndrome is happening, someone wants to sell their laptop very cheap that can help you in doing your programming and all of that. Or someone wants to sell their car. Maybe you can use that car and start doing both. And it's like, yeah, just give me 2 million, call it my Camry. Money no day. Camry will be like 4 million. Money no day. Because this guy just needs this money to pay for his flight and just leave. These are the things. This is why you save. Or for example, now.
And if you pour person pepper for market, to that one still be
you feed a waka break
you
person egg.
You understand?
Where it's an emergency. You don't go tell me sorry now.
I'm telling you.
You don't break my egg. You got to pay for it.
So you have to bring money from somewhere.
This is why your savings is important. Now, for future transactions, let's say, for example, now, like people that go on vacations, people that want to buy things, I want to buy a car, that's why you also say future transactions. You want to buy this, you want to buy that, but you want to buy it now. You want to buy it later. Where is the money going to come from later? It's the one you have accumulated now. That's the idea. So these are the 3 reasons why you save. So in case you're saving like 30K every month, keep at the back of your mind that you're dividing it into 3 parts. 10, 10. I invest 10K. This other 10K now for my emergency. This other 10K now in case of any future transaction we want to call or anything I want to buy in the future. You're covered. Yes. Now you do that for 1 year or you do that for 10 months. That's 300K. You now have 100K emergency, 100K future transactions, 100K investing. Now there are people that will make money. Let's say for example now you do 1 gig and they pay you 5 million. You can't carry out the 5 million and invest now. If you invest 5 million, which you want chop?
What have you carry you go?
Right. So that is why you now have to you must be able to split that funds into ratios and say, okay, I'm keeping this out of this 5 million now. I won't keep 1.5 for emergency, or I won't keep 2 million for emergency. I won't keep 1.5 for future transaction. I won't invest 1.5. Now, another mistake people make is where to invest. For every newcomer in the market, I tell people, okay,
hold on for a bit, because we're going to move to that. I was going to ask you, because when you were starting the conversations around savings, you said don't invest yet. So I was going to ask you, at what point do you start investing? Because now we've talked about savings, budgeting, we've talked about understanding your loopholes, and then now taking out money that you can save from just understanding those loopholes, and now how you can leverage, or spend your money better so that you can take out something for saving. So at what point do you start investing yet? Because now we're saving money. Yeah, that's where we stop. So
like I said earlier, you're saving for 3 particular reasons, and each of those reasons should have a target.
Yes.
Now, for example, you're like, okay, what is my target to invest? I need to have an investment goal. Okay, I want to invest 1 million naira this year. You have to save up to that 1 million naira to invest. Okay, my goal is to invest 500K this year. Okay. So these are the targets you make, because so that you can time this target, you can evaluate this target, you can monitor this target.
So before you invest, so that we get these things and get it straight. So before you invest, you have to know what you are
investing in.
Do you understand? And how much you want to invest. Then save up to that. So when you save up to that amount,
that target,
you are ready to invest.
You go in.
Fantastic.
So for example, now this is different strokes for different folks.
Yes.
I might say, okay, I want to save 100K. That's my investment target for like the next 2 or 3 months or for the next 1 year. Fine. I build my portfolio or I build my savings to that amount. Right, and I go into the market with that amount. For some people, it's like I want to do 5 million. For some people, I want to do 3 million. I want to do this amount, I want to do that amount. For some people, it is once they partition it, they just take out the money and go and put it in there. It's still good. It's called dollar cost averaging. You're always buying. Whether the market is up or the market is down, whether it's good or it's bad, you're buying. At the end of the day, it will level out. That's DCA, right? Dollar cost averaging. So can I now go into investing?
Yes, please.
Now, when you now want to invest, I tell people there are 3 places to invest in. The first place is a knowledge, and that is in yourself. You must be able to build knowledge about the investment world, about whatever asset classification you're going for, or whatever portfolio you're going into. You must be able to build knowledge, and that knowledge will not come free of charge. Most of those knowledge are paid for.
God bless you. You know, we cannot overemphasize this enough, because part of the reasons why, you know, people throw their monies away and are now scared of investing is because they started investing without
knowledge,
any
anything
knowledge whatsoever. So somebody comes, sells an idea to you, don't even know anything about it. You just take their word for it, and then you throw in all of your money, and you, when you know your money flies away,
your money is gone. It's in the pocket of someone else.
You start crying, and then you start talking down on investing. There are some persons who would say, I beg, leave all those stocks thing, I beg, leave all those investment thing, your money is going to go. It's out of the experiences that they've had over the years due to lack of knowledge.
Due to lack of knowledge. Now, moving forward, like I said, you need to invest in knowledge.
Yes.
The right knowledge. You need to pay for the right knowledge.
Pay.
And I always say this, Google is a friend.
KK, talk that pay again. You know, Africans, we know they like hear that.
We really like them.
We don't like hear that pay. And you're forgetting that nobody is going to give you premium knowledge for free. It doesn't happen anywhere.
You must sacrifice something.
Even your lecturers in school, you pay your school fees.
You must sacrifice something.
So when it comes to investing in yourself, you have to understand that you're going to
pay for it. So you invest in yourself, you invest in knowledge,
yes.
Right? I've said Google is a friend, ChatGPT is a friend, but it's not everything they will give you. There are some things you need one-on-one for.
People's experiences that you will not read in books.
You know,
yes,
they will not even want to write them in books,
yes,
because
now.
some people are. See, someone told me that the grave is the place with the biggest amount of knowledge, because men took them down there. That's to show you how selfish people are with knowledge.
Yeah.
That's just it. Now, the second place to invest in is in the real sector. Now, the real sector is the engine that moves the economy of a nation. This is not money anymore. This is what we call goods and services, buying and selling. This is the real economy of a nation, the real sector. Now, what the real sector is everything around you: transportation, tourism, hospitality, services, telecommunication, banking, agriculture. That is the real sector, buying and selling of goods and services. There is so much money there, but we are not seeing it. Everybody's looking at the next place, which is the financial market. So it's either the second place to invest in is the real sector. The third place is in the financial market. This is now where you give your assets, where you give your financial assets for future earnings. You give your money and you get future earnings. You buy stocks, you buy ETFs, you invest in the Nigerian Treasury bills, you buy savings bonds. Now, the idea of all of this, there are two principles the financial market works on. The principle of buying low, holding and selling high, and the principle of tying your money down for a specific period of time for a particular return on investment. Now, it's just for you to know which one will pay more in so and so amount of time. That's just it. So there is a whole lot to put your money into. But the problem is this: we want the one that will pay us millions in 30 days.
Today. You say 30 days for now, okay? You never see.
You want to do 100K and get 2 billion.
That's why these people now, they take all of our money and go.
And they will tell you there is no risk. I tell people, if you want to invest in any asset, always have these three answers from these three questions sufficiently answered to your best satisfaction. Question 1: what is the level of due diligence you have done on a particular investment? How much knowledge do I know about this? Do I know beginner, intermediate, or professional? If you cannot explain it to an 8-year-old, you don't know it yourself. If you cannot explain how stocks work or how forex works to an 8-year-old, my dear, you don't know. You still have a lot of learning and self-investment in knowledge to do.
And at that point, don't invest.
At that point, you don't know what you're doing. So you are gambling.
Yes.
It's 50-50 you are doing now.
Your money will go.
Your money will disappear.
It's not prophecy.
Now, the second question you need to ask yourself and answer is: how much of my principal is protected from this investment? Am I going to lose 10%? Am I comfortable losing 20%? Or am I comfortable losing all the money?
My heart beats.
Ask that question. Oga, you say I should put my money here. How much am I going to lose? If I'm to lose money now, how much will I lose from it?
Oh my God.
If they tell you that, you can lose all your money and you are not Okay,
Can
please
you
walk away.
can you risk it?
Saka, if
Would you have high blood
are you,
pressure?
are you okay risking 20% of your funds?
Okay. Oh.
I tell people, promised safety of capital is far important than promised returns.
Yes.
The one I have now, protect it than telling you risk it now and
Because you go lose capital,
lose return.
Nothing come aside.
You will lose on both ends. So the best thing to actually do is get that understanding. How much of my principal am I going to lose if I do this? If you're not satisfied with the answer, stop. Now, the third question that needs to be answered is, am I going to be satisfied with the returns that are coming? If you invest 1 million, you get 10K. You've got returns, but is that what it's for you? Are you comfortable with it? I want to do 1 million. The payout is 300K. Are you comfortable with it? I want to do 1 million. The payout is 50K. Are you comfortable with it? If you're able to answer these 3 questions, or you're being provided answers to these 3 questions, and you're satisfied with it, you've already done 50% of the job.
Now, we have like 10 more minutes to go, and I want us to talk about red flags for a bit. Red flags in investing, because just like you earlier mentioned, a lot of Nigerians are even giving out money to all of this get rich quick scheme. A lot of people are giving out their hard-earned money and they're losing out on it, you understand? So, and part of the reasons is because they are not able to see the red flags. They are naive. Do you understand? They don't have knowledge enough to see the red flags. And sometimes these people come out and pose as if they are legit. Some people even do their checks and their balancing and they say, okay, you know what, I think these people are real, and then you put in your money and it sinks. So just take us through, some red flags to look out for, when you want to begin your investing journey.
All right. The first red flag I always talk about is regulation and compliance.
Okay.
Are they registered? I'm not talking about CAC registration, no. Corporate affairs. I'm not talking about corporate affairs commission. Everyone that bears the name investment company should be registered by the SEC, Security and Exchange Commission. This is the body in charge of everything investment. This is the regulator, just as the way CBN regulate bank financial transactions, regulate banks in Nigeria. That is how SEC regulates investment companies in the country. So any investment, anybody that's telling you come and invest here, and that person is not backed by the SEC or regulated by the SEC, that's the first red flag. Because now, if anything happens, there's nobody to hold. There's nobody to even fight for you.
So how do you know if they are registered with the SEC? Do you check their website? How do you go about that?
You first check the SEC website.
Okay.
To see them. Second, just ask them directly. Are people registered with the SEC? Just ask them directly. That question throws. They will start telling you, we are trying to, we are doing this one, we have AIP. They will start giving you plenty. Once they start like that, it's a yes or no. Answer, right? If you don't have it, if you didn't day. If you don't have it, you don't have it.
Yes.
Are you regular? Yes or no? Would you trust a bank that is not backed by the CBN or regulated by the CBN? You will not. You will not even give them your money. And that's the first thing every Nigerian banks will tell you. We are incorporated with the NDIC. Your money is insured with NDIC, and we are now fully backed by the CBN or regulated by the CBN. Once you hear those 2 things, take my money. I'm fine with you. But why don't we do this when it comes to bank? You want to eat gala, you first check expiry date and NAFDAC number, Abi. This is the expiry date and NAFDAC number for investment companies. So you need to. I'm not talking about CAC, because they always say that we have done CAC registration. It's not CAC. It is not CAC. Now, that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is looking at the financials of the company that you're going into. How has their proceedings been? What are their numbers? What are their profit ratio? What are their loss ratio? Ask them to show you, okay, give me your financials for the last 6 months. Let me see. Let me use that to know if I will go in or not. If the numbers are right, I will go in. Give me the numbers. Tell me what was your margin over the last 3 months. How much did you make in 2022? How much did you make in 2023? Show me the figures. Many of them will start telling you stories, tales by moonlight, as if you are looking for super story that you want to watch.
This, most Nigerians don't even have the audacity to ask these questions.
But that's the problem.
Yes.
You're giving this person your hard-earned money, and you don't want to ask questions.
And because they are naive, they are taking advantage of. They know you won't ask.
It is your right to ask. Imagine you being in the hospital, your child is sick, they want to inject your child. So you have the right to ask, what are you injecting my child?
That's true.
If you can do this over your children, over those under you, why can't you do it for your money too? Where are you investing my money in? I want to see your financials. Show me. If I'm going to put my money here, because you need me, I don't need you. My money can be in my pocket. I will go and squander it. So me investing in you I am doing you a favor.
Yes.
Because you're going to make more money, and you're going to give me a percentage of it.
So you owe it to me to answer my questions.
So you owe it to me to answer my questions.
Yes,
that is it. And these are the things many people shy away. They'll say, they said, no, what questions did you even ask to start with? Now, the next one that they always used to tell us as the first thing, they tell you, there is no risk. It's 100% foolproof, fail-proof.
Or sometimes they'll just say 90% so that...
They will not even, if they tell 90%, you say you will reason that remaining 10%. You say if you will use that remain, they will tell you, it has no. Once you tell me it has no risk, I will start running, because I believe that every single thing has a level of risk. The question is, how pronounced is that risk? So when you tell me, you can invest in us, there's risk. Real estate has the highest risk. Documentation, land grabbing. Imagine you paying 10 million for a property, they tell you it's not your own. That property is in court.
Yeah, somebody told me his story last week. I was so sad, man.
That is the risk in real estate that nobody even talks about. Or you buy a land, government come and takes it over because you did not do your research very well. These are risks. These are risks in business.
Yes.
You invest in stock, you know that stock used to go up and come down. It goes down, you start crying. But when it goes up, you smile. These are the risks we talk about. COVID happened. Something as minute as transportation was not profitable in that period. These are the risks. What happened to O-Ride? Government woke up and said, no more Okada in Lagos. That's how O-Ride packed up in Lagos. Policies. These are the things we look at as a risk. And if you tell me there is no risk in your business, you lie. Or you don't know what you're doing. So when you come and tell me, invest here, there is no risk. Even federal government bonds that we used to buy, we used to be afraid that the government might default. That's why when the government starts borrowing, we start complaining, please, people are owing us too.
Okay, we have to run. I mean, there's so much to unpack. I have a lot of things I jotted down. I don't even know if the time will permit us to go over everything, but I think that I would want you to advise young people who are listening at the time on the importance of financial knowledge. If there's one course I feel like everybody needs to pay attention with, is economics, right? Understanding the idea behind demand and supply. Understanding how money comes, how money goes.
Flow of money flows.
Do you understand? Because the more knowledge you have about a thing, it gives you an edge. Do you understand the point I'm trying to make? And when it comes to finance, I'm sorry to say, because we run away from plus and minus a lot in school, it's as if a lot of people also just pay deaf ears to finance. However it goes, it goes. So just talk to us about financial, making sure that you're knowledgeable about, your finances, how to go about that, learning the ropes, and then you just advise us and we round up.
All right. So, I'd start with the advice.
Yes, please.
So, the one thing I tell everyone is the best time to start was yesterday.
Yes.
The second best time to start is now.
Yes.
Take your finance seriously.
Yes.
Start, reading up articles about personal finance investment. You're on social media, just type finance on Instagram. On
the kind resources where you go see
amount of content you will see, your brain you'll be like, so these things are here.
Yes.
I don't even know. There are tons of people dishing out financial knowledge, but the funny part is gossip we want. Abio and Natasha, that's the one. Do you know the funny thing? I will say this one. DeepSeek was happening. I was losing money on US stocks, Nvidia, and I was busy ranting about DeepSeek, and I have a contact of over 2,000 people. We're only 3 people talking about DeepSeek. Everybody else was talking about Two-Face and Annie.
Nigerians.
And I was like, is it that the global economy is not important to you people? So the first one is to start early. The second thing is to be intentional with the amount of knowledge you're getting and how you're utilizing them. Because it's one thing to know, it's another thing to execute. And thirdly, go big or go home.
Period.
That's just it.
Kelechukwu, Khay, Godfrey, everybody. Just like I mentioned earlier, I have a lot of things to unpack. I'll just run through a few things just to give you a recap. We started by telling you to be productive. We said learn a skill, make sure that it's an in-demand skill. We talked about the importance of announcing yourself. We talked about interning, volunteering. We talked about mentorship. We now looked at moving from there to monetizing. We also talked about now when you've started monetizing, giving your skills to people who are now ahead of you so that you can leverage their contacts, their networks, right? And then when we move to, after you've started making money, what do you start doing? We talked about budgeting,
saving,
do you understand?
investing.
Touched I mean, that's like my high point, your loopholes, understanding that. And then we now talked about, savings and then investing. We talked about saving for emergency, saving for transactions, saving for speculations. And when we looked at 3 places to invest, Khay talked about knowledge and the real sector, the buying and selling of goods and services. Yeah. And then we talked about financials, the financial market. And then when we looked at red flags in investing, we talked about regulation and compliance. And we also said you should look at the financials of the group. We just brought a lot of lessons. Our time is up. But I have Khay, thank you. You gave us blast. This conversation is going to be on social media in case you're like me and you want to go through the entire thing that we talked about today. This is just a cue for you to take your financials very serious this year. This is just March. You still have so much that you can do before the end of the year. Thank you so much, Kelechukwu, Khay, Godfrey, for joining us. I don't know I'm grateful. By the way, Jay, you guys remember Jay, right? Jay is also in the studio. Hi, Jay. Thank you so much for being here. This is where we're going to be calling it an evening on Grow with Sunshine this evening. We're going to catch you again, but that will be next week, Sunday. Thank you so much. Please do well.
Good night,
have
Abuja.
a fantastic